Hi, my name is Jan Benham, founder of the Institute of Aromatherapy and Aroma Shoppe. And today I'm here to talk about preservatives in the making of creams and lotions. Now, in order to make a cream and a lotion, you're normally mixing waters and oils together. And you use an emulsifier as well to do that. But when you add water to a product, you invite the invasion of microbes and bacterium. So in order for our product to last a long enough time on the shelf before they go moldy, we need to add some form of preservative. When I started out, I was looking for preservatives, and my first thought was to go to the essential oils. So I started using, back in the late 80s, myrrh and benzoin, these two products here, and it worked. I added a few drops of benzoin and a few drops of myrrh. And the reason why I did this was because benzoin has been around for use for centuries as a preservative. By itself, you can see here it's very sticky and very thick. So in order to add this to a product, I needed to pre-mix it in glycerin, otherwise you get little red spots all over the place. Now, benzoin itself, as well as being a natural preservative and a fixative, has an aroma that is pleasant, like vanilla. So it is a beautiful essential oil to add. Benzoin was used in the past to help with cracked skin and very dry skin. So it's very useful in the treatment of eczema and anything with cracked, dry skin, to help the healing of that. So it is a wonderful it's a resin as opposed to an essential oil. So the other product I use is myrrh, and myrrh has is very strong antifungal agent. So I figured if I added a few drops of myrrh to the product, that it would also help to stop any fungus from growing or mold from growing. And on top of that, myrrh itself is very beneficial to the skin. It's anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, as again it's antifungal. So it's great if somebody has candida in the body to apply to the skin as well, because sometimes skin problems can occur because of a gut problem. So by helping the skin, you help the gut as well, even though it's applied to the skin. So I started off with those two, and then I graduated. I was at that time taking some grapefruit seed extract that I got from the health food store, and I started adding this to the product as well, because I really was adamant that I did not want my products to go off in any way. The only problem with all this was all my products were smelling of myrrh and benzoin, which are okay. My customers said, I don't care what it smells like as long as it's doing the job, and they bought it regardless. But I did know that it was not acceptable if I was going to branch out and sell my products to the general public. So eventually I found a grapefruit seed extract that was stronger than this, from a company in Florida that specialized in grapefruit seed extract specifically for cosmetic use. So grapefruit seed extract is much stronger than the one you would take internally. So this is not for internal use. And it's very highly antimicrobe, antiseptic, antibacterial, and astringent, and it does have antioxidant activity as well. And of course there are many grades of grapefruit seed extract, as I found out. So it's ideal for use in creams and lotions. Now, unfortunately, it does have a bad rep. And I found this to my effect when I started working in the UK about 10 years ago. And I was working at a company and I was teaching a cream making class, and I didn't have all my products with me. I was in the process of moving from Canada at the time. And so I had to use whatever they had on hand. And they said, yes, we have grapefruit seed extract. So I started teaching the class on the cream. It was called Creamy Craft of Cosmetic Making, and I got their grapefruit seed extract and added it. It looked completely different. It was more liquidy. This is a very glycerin-like. It's got glycerin in it as well. And added it, and within 2 weeks, all of the products were moldy. So it is a main company in the UK that sell it, and I think that's what's happening is people are buying the grapefruit seed extract from them, and the products are going moldy, so they're saying, well, it doesn't work, and there could be a problem. Well, as I said, there are many different grades of grapefruit seed extract. The grapefruit seed extract by itself from the health food store isn't strong enough. But when I put it with benzoin and with myrrh, it did work. And I tried it in putting my creams in hot cars, in 100-degree temperatures and things like that, and it was great. Another product I used at the time and still use is natural vitamin E. And this is not to stop mold from forming, but what it does, it acts as an antioxidant. So by adding a few drops of vitamin E, you don't need to add a lot. Of course, you've got the benefits of the vitamin E, but it helps to stop the product from going rancid. Now, if you noticed in some of my basic white lotion creams, I don't add any natural vitamin E to it. It's because if you're adding things like carrier oils like fractionated coconut oil, jojoba oil, decapriol carbonate, etc., they don't go rancid. So you don't need to add vitamin E if you don't want to. You could, by all means, do so if you wish to. But if you are making a cream that's got, say, apricot kernel oil in, or rosehip, or almond oil, any carrier oil that can go rancid, then you need to add a little bit of vitamin E in order to stop the rancidity. Some carrier oils go rancid faster than other oils. For example, hemp seed oil I found went rancid within 3 months. So it all depends on the oil. Apricot kernel, I found it's really got a good long shelf life of a year. So you don't need as much. So these were the starter that I used at the beginning. Benzoin resinoid, myrrh, grapefruit seed extract, originally from the health food store, then I eventually found a supply that supplied specifically for cosmetic companies, and vitamin E. And then I started looking around for more preservatives, and I eventually came across GeoGuard. And it's it's a natural preservative again, and it's EcoCert. It's approved by Cosmos, and it's also, you can use in your Soil Association certified products. I'm not going to try and pronounce the names, but it's benzyl alcohol and dihydroacidic acid. And they're both organic compounds which are accepted for use in natural cosmetics, and it has a broad spectrum of stability at a wide range of pH for the product. So it's suitable for all cosmetic applications, sun creams, lotions, bubble baths, wet wipes, and so on. And I should tell you what your suggested rate is. It's typically between 0.2 and 1.1% that you would add to the product. So that's GeoGuard for a completely natural preservative, and it's between 0.2 and 1.1% that you would add to your product. For the grapefruit seed extract of the commercial product, you can add 0.5 to 1.5%. Another thing that it does, some people add it to their soap when in the soap making, because it does help to helps to retain the color and aroma and appearance for extended periods in soap. It also helps the soap trace faster when mixing. And all you need to add there is 0.05%. So it's a very small amount that you would need to add to the soaps. It is a little expensive, so you want to go on the less side than more. So in soap making, it is quite useful to add to your soap. And then we go on, and the next one I started using was Neopress. It has a broad, balanced spectrum of effect against bacteria, yeast, mold, and fungi. And it's considered one of the least sensitizing for use in formulations. Its suggested use levels are between 0.5 and 1%. and it's considered a safe and effective preservative when used in amounts approved for use in leave-on, rinse-off cosmetic products. So if you want to be a little bit tougher with your creams, some people use Neopress. I personally don't use it. I still use my grapefruit seed extract, believe it or not, or as you'll see in a later video that I'll be doing. And then more recently, I have been looking at other preservatives, and one is called Lucidol Max, and its inky name is Lactobacterialis ferment, and it's a powerful probiotic-based ingredient, and it's created by the fermentation of Lactobacterialis in a defined growth medium, and it's one of the species of microorganisms used to ferment products such as kimchi and sauerkraut. And it's capable of restricting the growth of other microorganisms by acidifying its environment. And so I found it provides broad spectrum micro-antibacterial protection and stops the growth of other microorganisms. In the formulation, we use a little bit more. I use between 2 and 4%, and I'm starting to use this more and more now. And it's working out really nicely. I also use this in my strawberry hydrosol because the strawberry hydrosol doesn't have as long a shelf life as the other hydrosols, and it just helps to stop bacterium and fungi growing in my hydrosol. So Lucidol Max is a lovely product and used between 2 and 4%. So that's the rundown of the preservatives that we use at the Aroma Shop. There are many more preservatives out there, no least, no more. So you try out which ones you like the best. Go by your own gut instinct and use what use what you like and use what works. And that's what I do. So next we're going to make a cream. It's kind of a lotion cream. It's a little bit light, it's a light cream that I use in a moisture cream that I love, that goes on very non-oily, and it's made from olive oil avenate. So I'm going to demonstrate how we make that. But before that, we have a little video to show you my way of making a basic white lotion using lanette wax. We're using no scale. Now we're going to make basic white lotion the way I have always made for myself, and also what we have always done in class. So I've done away with the scale, and we're going to use measuring spoons just to show you how easy it is to make basic white lotion and to work with lanette wax. So I have pre-measured the water in here. This is 650 ml of distilled water and 100 ml of rose water, which is organic. So it makes total of 750 ml of water. In here, this container here, I have lanette wax. Now for my measuring spoon, I use it's a 10 ml dessert spoon, a regular culinary dessert spoon. And how I measure is 4 heaping dessert spoons of lanette wax. That has always been my measurement. Then I'm going to take fractionated coconut oil. So I'm making my plain old basic white lotion. And what I do here, I always say 4 spoons, but I always say overflowing spoons. So in class we always say, okay, they always have a joke about this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 for the pot. And that is my measurement for my basic white lotion. So now I'm going to put them in a double boiler and heat them, and I'll get back to you and show you the results. Now here are the exact same products. The water component and the oil wax. So this is the lanette wax and the fractionated coconut oil, completely melted, and this is warmed up to the same degree. I haven't used any thermometers. Now I'm just going to pour the oil wax into the water, and then I'm going to stir. Now I'm not going to stir like this the whole time. I am going to leave it for a little while until it's cooled down, and then I'm going to use my handheld mixer. So I'm going to leave it for about 5-10 minutes, come back, stir it again, and just watch it so it doesn't clump. But if it does, doesn't really matter, because we're going to use our handheld blender. Now it's been about 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and now I'm going to use my handheld blender and leave it again for another 10 minutes now, and then use my handheld blender again. The preservative that I use for my own personal products is the grapefruit seed extract, because I found that works beautiful. I've never had a problem with mold in 25 years of using it. So I'm going to use the grapefruit seed extract on my next, just after I do my next mixing. And now I'm going to do it one more time. Then I'm going to add a dollop, which is a large drop. Remember, this is for myself. It's a little different from when you make for commercial resale. So I'm adding a dollop of grapefruit seed extract into this. And now it's cool enough that I can pour into my container. Now I am going to pour it in a large container, but I have already made, because I'm making a cleansing lotion out of this, I've already got my own container right here. So I'm going to pour directly in the bottle. And I'm just going to pour a little bit halfway. And then I'm going to add my essential oils, and I'm going to add 4 drops each of lavender and geranium. This is my lavender. So I'm going to do, there was probably 5 drops in there. And then I'm going to add some geranium. Now I absolutely love geranium, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Geranium is very balancing on the skin, and when I was doing a lot of traveling and staying a lot in the north in Ontario, I did a lot of camping. And of course in the summertime you get black fly in May, and then you get mosquitoes after that. So the chances are, no matter how much anti-insect repellent you're going to put onto your skin, you are going to get bitten. And I found the antidote to that was if I added 1 drop of geranium directly on the bite, it took away the itch immediately. So whenever I traveled, so there is my cleansing lotion. I think we can just show you there. There's my cleansing lotion. So it's ready to go. So I always carried with me a bottle of mixed essential oils, which I knew would discourage anything from landing on me and biting me in the first place. And then I always carried a bottle of geranium to put on the bite if I happen to get bitten. And it worked every time. Another time I used geranium a lot, I was going through a lot of stress. This is geranium again, in about 20 odd years ago. And I started breaking out itching all over my neck and on my front of my chest. And I found when I applied the geranium neat to the area, just a few drops, the itch went away. And I applied as often as I needed. Now, people will recommend that you don't apply them concentrated, but in this case I was desperate, but it worked. So geranium is one of my best friends. Balancing to the skin, good for oily, good for dry skin, good for irritated skin. So that's the Jan Benham method of making basic white lotion. So I'll give you the recipe again. It was 650 ml of distilled water, 100 ml of organic rose hydrosol, 4 heaped dessert spoons, here is our dessert spoon, of lanette wax, and 4 overflowing spoons of fractionated coconut oil with 1 extra spoon for the pot. Mix together after it's all been heated, of course. And then to preserve the product, we added 1 dollop of grapefruit seed extract. Once it's cool enough, and we've allowed this to cool enough that I can touch it, it's a little warm, but it's not too hot. I pour directly in the container, and the rest of this is going to go into another container, which I will use as is. So I have enough cleanser now for quite a time. And I can use this lotion for other purposes too, i.e. if I want to make a lotion to apply to anything, for example, if I've got, if I want to deal with any skin issues on my body and I want to apply some essential oils, then I can use this as my carrier in order to be able to put the essentials into to apply to my skin. So this can help people with varicose veins, arthritis or aches and pains. So if I've done a workout, for example, and I find that I've got a lot of aches and pains, I can make up a lotion with the essential oils that will help relieve the aches and pains. I even do a pre-exercise lotion as well. So this can be used for a lot of purposes. Meanwhile, I have my cleanser. I'm going to label it up and I'm going to be using it. So there you have it, the Jan Benham way of making a basic white lotion using no weighing scales. And now I'm going to make a cream / lotion that is using olive oil avenate as an emulsifier. So this is olive oil avenate here. It comes in this format, and it's a great emulsifier. It has a silicone-like feel upon the skin and gives a great smoothness on the skin. So I do like to use this in my moisturizer. And for my carrot oil, I'm using DiCaprio carbonate. Now we used this last time as well, but we will be using other carrot oils and in other times. So DiCaprio carbonate, again, it helps to it goes on the skin and then dries, so you don't have an oily feeling on the skin. And then what I do love to add, something that people don't really think of adding, is castor oil. Now in Germany, it's known as Wonder Oil, and there's a reason why. I have noticed that I've always taken castor oil if necessary. If I got a little constipated, I've used castor oil packs as well, because it helps to draw out toxins from the liver. And I started thinking, I had a liver spot that had appeared on my breast. And I started thinking, well, if it does that for inside the body, even by an external pack, what can it do if it's applied to a liver spot or a mole? And I started applying it daily on the area, all around the area, on my breast area as well. I figured it's good to draw out toxins from around there. And it's very sticky, castor oil is. So what I would then do, I'd use my basic white lotion afterwards and just massage the basic white lotion on top of the castor oil, and then I would go to sleep, and then I wasn't worried about having stickiness all over my bed sheets as well. I've also used castor oil mixed with baking soda, for example, on athlete's foot. And you mix it into a paste, baking soda and castor oil into a paste, and you apply it onto the area. And I've also used it on warts with great success as well, that combination. So you put it on the wart if you happen to have a little wart, and put a plaster around it, and you do it daily, and eventually it will, the wart will fall off. So castor oil is really a wonder oil, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to start putting it into my moisturizers as well. And so in here we have 25 grams of olive oil avenate, 100 grams DiCaprio carbonate, and 20 grams of castor oil. If you've noticed, I'm actually weighed that here because this is a product that I actually make for selling as well. So it's 25 grams of olive oil avenate, 100 grams of DiCaprio carbonate, and 20 grams of castor oil. And by the way, I have absolutely no liver spots at all on my face or my neck or my chest, and I'm 61 years old. So it's interesting. And to let you know that this was a year ago, the mole, I think it was more of a mole, disappeared completely. It's just started breaking off and just disappeared within a matter of weeks. So by daily application of the castor oil, you can improve your skin enormously. So in the water component, we have distilled water, and I've put 15 grams of hyaluronic acid for helping the moisture content in the skin. And I've used my seaweed extract. It's 20 grams of seaweed extract because I do love putting seaweed and algae extracts on my skin. So we have done this and done the water component separate. We heat this up. We heat this until the wax and oil, until the wax is completely melted in a double boiler. So it's a pan with water in it, and then I put it in and then heat it until it's melted. And in the water component, again, put this into a pan with water, and I just boil it up, not so it's boiling, but until it's just a little bit heated enough that we can add them together. Ideally, you want them around the same temperature, so you can use a thermometer, but I don't bother. I've never had a problem. So I'm going to do that right now and come back with the results. So now I've gone and melted the wax in here, and of course heated up the oil, and the water has been heated up to where it's been bubbling. So I'm just going to add the wax and oil to the water and just stir, and then I stir for a little while. I use my handheld blender until I cheated a little bit and pre-made the same thing right here. So this is the cream as it's emulsified. These two, that turns into this product here. So it goes nice and white, creamy white. It's beautiful, isn't it? And then I add 10 grams of Lucidel Max. And from there on, I can add my essential oils. Because I'm making it for myself, I'm adding a drop of Immortelle, 100% Immortelle, and a drop of rose, and a few drops of geranium, and some sweet orange essential oil. And then I'm going to put it in my bottles and apply it every morning and every night. So that's how to make a cream, and it is creamy, with olive oil avenate emulsifying wax. So obviously you look here, I was wearing gloves when I made the product. I did wipe over everything with vodka to make sure that there was no bacterial contamination right from the start. Normally I would wear a mask. I'd wear a hairnet in order not to get little pesky hairs in my product. And so it's very important to keep cleanliness. And I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I look forward to doing them and trying to find out what would be most useful to you in the making of products. And I look forward to the next time, and have a great Sunday wherever you may be, and look forward to next time.